There is just very little to say, and there's everything to say. This is the gospel. They're all wonderful, but this one is so practical, it's so consoling, it's so hopeful, it's so helpful, it's so joyful. And I would hope that hearing it and imagining yourself or believing somehow that Jesus is with you now and you enjoy the burning in your heart of his presence within your soul that he would like. The last line always gets to my throat. They recognized him in the breaking of the bread. This morning at 10 o'clock, little children walked down this aisle and made their first communion. Little innocent boys and girls. And they were taught, and then finally it happened, that they recognized Jesus in the breaking of the bread, Holy Communion, for the first time. I have seen some of them this afternoon, and you almost wish they would never change, and yet they will. First communion is just that, the first communion. How many thousands of times will they come here, there, somewhere in the world to attend our liturgy, our Mass, and then come up again and receive Jesus thousands of times, and they will recognize him in the breaking of the bread. How simple, how profound, how brilliant of God to say, this is one way I can stay with my people, all through the ages, all through the nations, and all through the planets around us and so on. Here he is breaking bread with us again, and we are here waiting to hear the good news and then to open our mouths, open our hands, and take him to ourselves. Is it a different Christ than the one who walked along with these men on the way to Emmaus? No, it's the same one. And I just get more and more impressed with the way God seeks us. Many of us have been taught, perhaps, that we are to seek God, find God, find God. Just sit down and let him find you, because he seeks us far more than we seek him. And so we have this magnificent gospel with real people walking along. And Cleopas is the name of one, the other we aren't told, but they're walking along so discouraged, so downhearted, so disappointed, perhaps in tears, saying, we thought that Jesus was going to be the one. He would be the Messiah. And so they heard about it, but they weren't convinced, were they? And so our Lord, in this wonderful way, plays dumb. And he goes up to them, as you know, and he says, what are you guys talking about? And then they start to tell him what they had experienced in Jerusalem. And then they're confounded. They say, where have you been? In a cave? And the truth was, he was. Because he didn't know, they thought, what he was talking about, his own resurrection. And so then he uses the word foolish. You know how God certainly must come to us at times and say, you poor thing, you. Why are you so worried? Why are you so anxious about your life? Why don't you just believe? And everything will be fine. Just keep believing, enjoying your faith. We didn't ask to be here. He says, I'll take care of you. I will walk with you, and I will talk with you, and I will tell you, you are my own. And he never stops walking with us. Never. we may not think of him all the time, maybe not so conscious of his presence, but he never leaves us. And so it is Christ who will teach us the meaning of the Scriptures. A lot of people want to describe the literal or other kind of meaning of the words, and that's one thing. This is a book. Communion is the man, the Christ, the God-man who loves us, wants to come with us, and so wants us to stop worrying and being anxious about our lives. Just enjoy your faith. I'll take care of things. No, I won't remove all the pain and suffering in life. I won't do that any more than my Father kept me from the pain of my own passion and death. But that's just a little part of it, because the big part is, when that's all over, wait till you see what God has in mind for you. We tonight join millions and millions of Catholics across the world who are hearing the same story, sitting there, kneeling there, praying there, or reading the bulletin as one man did. That's okay. I can't hold your attention. I hope Christ does. So, this one overflows my mind and my heart, that he finally was recognized in the breaking of the bread. I've told you this before, and I can't prove it, but they tell me in research the Mass is being offered 5 times every second somewhere in the world. And so how simple of God to say, I will talk to you and I will walk with you and I will bring you together like this, and I will teach you from Adam and Eve and Moses and all the rest till today, so that you will come to know God and recognize Jesus in the breaking of the bread. Christ is risen. Christ is risen indeed. And so I hope you let him in and you walk with him, you talk with him, you receive him, and you make him your very own.